Hey guys, in this video we'll be taking tips and tricks and other stuff about each brawler. For Nita, I think you guys should always use Hyper Bear, and for El Primo, remember that he has a trait. Whenever you take damage, it charges a super. Use that to your advantage. Also, always use El Capo for, of course, Poco, because he's not supposed to be a damage dealer, but you want him to do a little bit of damage, so still use the damage gear and the healing gear, because for you, you're healing. Don't use Dino Jump unless you're really skilled. Use Demolition because the damage actually is a lot more than it usually is. Also, never use Fidget Spinner, but it's not the worst gadget, but there's like some situations where it could work. Make sure you have walls or two walls next to each other where the opponents are hiding in bushes to your versatility, because that could be like a free kill to you. Make sure you use the gadget if any close ranges try to jump you. The one that spawns in a barrel, because that makes your damage almost triple, which does like 7,000 damage per shot. Make sure you use your ability to hit through walls assertively. So camp behind a wall. If you see any close ranges trying to murder you, you can try to fight them or use your gadget to dash away. M's. Make sure you have the push away gadget because the meta is crazy. Also, just make sure you're running farther away from your opponent so the tick of her things do more damage. For Frank, all I can say is just make sure you make him the tankiest person ever, like 15,000 health. BB, I don't really know, but make sure you use your buff to advantage. I do batting stance. My bad, because then you can rush people with having a lot of health. Because speed, that we're same. Edgar, just don't play him. Bonnie, make sure you get his other form because it's actually like broken in close range. Lola, we got Lola. Make sure you have your Ba or Ego in an area where both of your attacks hit the opponents. Make sure you can use your attacks in close range. When you get your super, also spawn your gadget so they get jumped. Use the time forward or behind gadget because it does really affect it. The cooldown's shorter and you just get free health back. For this one, make sure you have like a brawler like Frank or a person with a lot of health. Use field promotion, which gives them 30 health every second, and it never ends. So you can make someone get like 30k health. Depending on what mode it is, like solos, they'd be broken. Make sure you don't use Eye Sharp and X-Ray Shades together. It's not really a good thing. The stun really does make Buzz a more versatilely good brawler. Also, most people use Popcorn, but the stun gadget is actually better. But just make sure you're in like the front of the people and just not using it from far range because it has no range. Also, make sure there's multiple people when you use your super. Alright, so whenever you see Cornelius's or other people going into the Shadow Realm or other lilies, make sure you jump them while using your gadget too so you can meet the other people and murder them. For her, I'd say also use her super and attacks in a strategic manner where they can hit through walls. But if y'all don't know, it also slows them down so you have more time. For Kit, make sure you're hiding in bushes and you only use your super with brawlers you know that are like squishy. At the moment, we have like the jump Subway Surfers abilities where you can like jump and you're like out, but that's not always here. For Carl, also use it in a strategic manner where the attacks hit through walls. Mandy, make sure you're standing still so her damage increases. Or I meant her range increases. Just make sure you're playing around game mode like knockout and not showdown. For Maisie, I'd say make sure when you get your super, like damage some people, but be next to a wall, and then just use your super to push them away if they ever anger you or get close to you. Also, activate your super when they're in mid jump because it takes a couple seconds. Ellie, just use the water to your advantage and stay in the water trying to dodge your bullets and going invisible. Spike, don't be scared of long, short ranges. Even though he is a long range, he still can do a lot of damage from close. Make sure you remember to hold that button, not just tap it, which is like 300 damage. For Colt, Remember to know how to spray your attacks in a type of way where it does a lot of damage. Also use the gadget where it reloads 2 shots, which definitely does give you some more faster time. Meg, make sure you're not really walking slow or making you seem like an easy target. Stand behind walls and use them to your advantage. Brawler, I suppose when there's someone hiding, use your gadget that ricochets off of walls to get the kill. Sam, make sure you use your super as a versatile ability because you can get kills from it and you get a short speed boost. Angelo, make sure you use his healing star power when he has a super because that could basically make him just a support and he's already pretty underrated. Yeah, Mortis, make sure you don't lose a game with them because all you have to do is just run away and use your gadget. Jae Young, remember, your attacks also heal your teammates. Some people would just think, oh, it's just a super that heals you. No, it's just more than that. Colette, don't use her at heist anymore because the heist save really targeted people who were good like Colette and Crow. Use her in Showdown, Knockout, Bounty. There's a lot of versatility left too, bro. Alright, so whenever you're low health and you have your super activated or you have your super, make sure you just run into walls so no one can kill you. Other than other shades. Of course, or brawlers that can't do walls. Make sure you're behind walls and you're the farthest distance of your attacks. Because that does the most amount of damage. If there's any people that are too close, it won't do as much damage. Also, remember his attacks, the other opponent's attacks also charges super. Stu, make sure you just, if you're low, tap the people once and then just run away with your super. If they're still in the vicinity, especially if they're close ranges. Griff, don't be scared to jump close ranges. In fact, you can jump basically any type of brawler there is. Also, for Ash, just tickle people so you get your rage bar to the max, and then you can versatilely be aggressive and just kill everyone. Melody, also same thing with Ash, but just I think you could just dash away. Other than that, she doesn't really have anything. Also, remember that her attacks can hit through walls, so use that versatility. Chester, remember his first shot can like one-shot Edgar if you have that star power. Tick, you're so annoying, bro, and you're still bad at the game. All right, for Daryl, make sure you know that you can roll over the water, and make sure you have the one that spins bullets around you. For Gus, remember, auto-aim the super when you want to use it on you and not just start at the random direction. You could also give it to teammates, but please aim it correctly. For Ollie, make sure you use the star power or the ability that makes him jump over walls. That really makes it OP, and it's almost like a Subway Surfer's ability. Hide in bushes, use clay pigeons, you get the win. That's all I'm going to say. Just use your gadget and you win. Alright, next we got Pearl. For Pearl, make sure your bar is charged, your fire bar, I suppose you can call it. And then you can rush anyone. I mean, otherwise you can also rush anyone. But the damage when your fire bar is charged is immaculate. Make sure you use your super in a place where there's not like one block. Make sure it's like more than one structure or like an area where you actually need it. Where it's not just like, oh, it's just one block, I have to put it on there. No. Unless it's like a one-shot kill and it's in the middle of a knockout. For Bo, move diagonally so all of his shots hit because his attacks hit diagonally, even if you don't hit diagonally. Gene, just don't use hypercharge. Make sure the only you use your super. And the only reason you could use your hypercharge is if there's like a Bull or a Shelly in your team. You can grab him to you, and while one shot it is. So there is some versatility. Bull, also yet again, don't be afraid of anyone. He can basically counter anyone, and he's one of the best brawlers. Remember to use the stun gadget, because that really provides him versatility and OP-ness. For Brock, remember to be a marksman, not to go into combat too much, but if you want, you can always use your jump. Make sure you have the 4th model, which gives you 4 attacks instead of 3, which is one of the best star powers, I'd say. Barley, remember to use the healing. I mean, the thing about Barley is he's such a squishy brawler, just I think the slow would be better because then your teammates have a little bit of reaction time for like Kit and Edgar and stuff like that. But I think overall, Brawler's just not a good brawler. Make sure you're next to bushes to upgrade them, make them longer, and slow other people who are in there other than your teammates. Make sure there's multiple people when you're ever shooting anyone, or if there's one person, of course, you can still shoot them. But it just makes it so both of them get hit by one bullet. 8-Bit, I just say make sure not to be afraid that he can also do really damage in close range, and his damage is really high, and he's really good in heist. So try him in heist, unless it's the map with the 3 lines and the show line. Piper, if you're ever gonna use this brawler, make sure you're skilled with her, cause if you're not good with Piper, you're terrible. If you're good with Piper, you're really good at the game. So whenever you have your hypercharge in Brawl Ball, if there's someone standing right next to you, use your super, land it on the other opponents. They get knocked back. Also, hit the ball before you use your super hypercharge. Then you can grab the ball and then just get a free goal. Nobody acknowledges this. Pam, use your damage start power. B, I suppose you can miss your first shot, but never miss your second shot more than twice unless you have the start power. You can only miss it once still. Alrighty, almost done. Halfway through the video. Nani, just make sure you know how to like drive a car or like rotate stuff, because if you don't know how to drive stuff, Nani's Peep is so hard to drive. And next we have, of course, sadly, Grom. There was a point where he was good and now he's just bad again. Make sure remember that his super yet again always does break through walls. It's not only his hypercharge. I don't really know what else to say for him. He's pretty bad. Gale, also push back anyone if they get into your vicinity. Use the stun, especially if you're in duels or matches with teammates, because then they can just jump them, especially if they're Kit or brawlers that are jumping brawlers, I suppose. Make sure you use your super when any close range is near, because that's literally a free kill. Larry and Lori, make sure you never use the gadget where it switches your weapons with your brother. It's just not good. It does like 5 damage. It might be good if you have like 20 cubes. Other than that, it's always just trash. Make sure you try Heist and Hot Zone, because this brawler is very unacknowledged and he's always banned in my server. So yeah. Yeah, Byron, I'd say make sure you're really good with him. Same thing with Piper, because either you're really bad at him or good with him, and you have to be like a good support and a good aggressive brawler. For Squeak, make sure you remember that his attacks do hit walls. So if you're in like a wall v wall battle, make sure you're in an area where you can just kill him with 3 shots, especially if they don't know. Charlie, remember you can cocoon yourself to heal too. Not only your opponents, and I think you have to auto aim for that too. Also remember that. I see some people kind of not cooking with that. Juju, make sure you put Gregory in the vicinity of the opponent, because if you put it right next to you, by the time they even reach close to the opponents, they get one-shotted. For Leon, make sure you use your super and never attack until you're right behind the opponents or right in front of the opponents. Behind would be better, and just spam them and then they die. Tickle people until you get stage 3, and then you just become the king. Alright, for Mr. P, I just suppose put your porters in a good area with bushes, or an area you know your opponents won't get to, like the end of the goal or where you spawn, especially the hypercharge one. Because that one really does affect the game. Now we have Sprout. I don't know at this point. Use walls, it's versatility. It's so trash. Lou, I suppose you should probably also damage people a lot, because if they get frozen, they're cooked. Also, be really aggressive with them. Actually, I think you should put your super next to the opponents or where they respawn, because that for Eve works better than other people. Janet, make sure you don't auto-aim her attacks, because then her range has to decrease. Unless, of course, they're close to you. Otis? I don't know. I guess try to hit all of his attacks, because, like, he has a lot of attacks, and they have a lot of potential of damage. Also, if you hit all of your attacks, you can get your super, which is, like, a Cornelius gadget, but better. Use your super for versatility in areas where you have to get goals, or even your hypercharge. For Gray, I just say make sure you try to get his hypercharge as soon as possible in the round, because that's like a infinite 1,000 shield. RT, remember, this happened a long time ago though. You can, your other form, your head form can still go onto water if you didn't know. Willow, just use your opponents to kill their teammates so they all die, and then make sure if you're in showdown, make sure they just walk into a wall not knowing, or walk into the storm. Willow has a lot of potential. Also, if you're like ever in a situation where you're gonna die, just use your super and then you'll still be there on a wall. Use it though. For Doug, use his healing star power. That really does affect the game. The other one's not as good, where you heal when you revive. Chuck, use his third pole star power or another pole star power, because that definitely does affect the game a lot. Miko, if you are going against other Mikos, remember you always have to be the Miko that hits them second, because the Miko that hits strikes second always wins. For Clancy, I suppose charge your super. Whenever anyone gets close to you, you'll get instant stage max, basically. So I'm also reading his bio a little bit. Let me check it real quick. Oh, alright. I thought it said something else. My bad. So Mo, I suppose, make sure you know that his damage DPS is actually really good, and that it can hit multiple people and pierce. So if they're in like a line or diagonally, you can probably kill them, or horizontally. Finks, make sure you use your super, and remember that your teammates can also use it. Crow, don't use him in Heist anymore. I don't even think he has any use, because his health is just so low. They did get buffed, which is not bad. But, like, I don't know at this point. Sandy, make sure you beg for a damage buff, because your damage is low. But also use your stun as your first shot, and then just spam them. The damage super is better, but it depends how you are, aggressive or not. Then use the healing. Make sure you use walls at your advantage, and if any other, you see like, oh, Lily, he was one shot. She's going into the Shadow Realm. All right, Piper, I gotta get you. All right, then you put Piper in there, and yeah. So for Draco, I suppose make sure your normal attacks are the farthest distance of his attack, which does more damage, and make sure you be really aggressive with a super. Of course, you still have Last Stand, and so you can cycle from super to super. Make sure you use his hypercharge when 3 people are right next to each other. They can't run away. Kaze, make sure you use the long form against close ranges, and then the short range form against the long ranges. Because the short range form actually does a lot of, or the long range form actually does a lot of damage. In the short range form, you can dash to the people. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe if you just watch the videos too. Peace.